You're standing in an aisle of glowing promises. 50 screens, all beautiful, all new. A salesperson approaches, they smile. This one just came in. Revolutionary panel. You won't believe the difference. And for a moment, you want to. But here's what no one mentions. Some of these screens won't survive their second winter. Some are built to dazzle once, then dim quietly in your living room. While the warranty collects dust in a drawer you'll never open again. Every year, homes get smarter. Screens grow thinner. Promises grow louder. But somewhere between the showroom floor and the living room wall, something shifts. The brightness fades a little. The colors don't quite match what you remember. Apps freeze at moments that feel deliberate. This is the distance no one talks about, the space between the box and the truth. And in 2026, that space has never felt wider. This isn't a list of TVs to buy. It's a map of the ones that will quietly break your heart, the ones engineered not to last, but to sell. Walk into any electronics store right now. The lights are bright, not natural, clinical. Every screen is glowing at settings you'd never use at home. Brightness maxed, colors oversaturated, motion smoothing turned on. It looks alive. That's the design. Because these aisles aren't built for truth. They're built for spectacle. And in the spectacle, you forget to ask the questions that matter, like how long this will actually last, or what happens when the panel starts to fail, or why the return window is only 15 days. You just see the glow, and the price, and the words on the box. Ultimate, quantum, AI enhanced, words that sound like progress, but often mean nothing at all. Red flag number 1, the names that used to mean something. Let's start with the ghosts, the brands that carry familiar names. Names your parents might recognize. RCA, Westinghouse, Philips. They sound trustworthy, safe. But here's what changed. The names were sold, licensed out to whoever bid lowest. The factories are different now. The engineers are gone. What remains is just the logo, a hollow shell carrying the memory of what it used to be. RCA isn't RCA anymore. It's a sticker on panels assembled from leftover parts. Different suppliers each month. No consistency, no quality control. When these TVs fail, and they do, there are no replacement parts, no support line that picks up, just a voicemail from 2012. And you, alone with a black screen. Westinghouse is the same story. A name that used to build American living rooms. Now it builds regret. The panels are inconsistent. Grays look muddy. Blacks look blue. Motion stutters like a scratched DVD. And the software. Menus take so long to load. You'd think you were back in dial-up days. Philips in the US is the cruelest trick. Because in Europe, Philips makes beautiful televisions. OLED, premium build, respected. But in America, the name is licensed to a budget manufacturer. So you walk into Costco thinking you're buying European engineering. What you actually get is a budget panel, weak brightness, inconsistent HDR, and the quiet realization that the name meant nothing. Real moments to one. Picture this. Saturday afternoon, you just unboxed it. The Westinghouse. It was affordable. The box looked fine. Your partner holds one side. You guide it onto the stand. Your son's toy truck is parked underneath. You leave it there. Press power. The screen lights up. It looks okay, not stunning, but okay. You tell yourself that's enough. A month passes, then 2. One evening, you're watching a movie, a dark scene, and you notice something. The left side of the screen is brighter than the right. Not by much, but enough. You walk closer, press your hand gently against the bezel. It feels cheap, hollow. You sit back down. The tea on the side table has gone cold. You don't touch it. You just watch and wonder when you stopped noticing. Red flag 2. The house brands. Now let's talk about the ones built specifically for the store you're standing in. Insignia at Best Buy, ONN at Walmart. These aren't TV brands, they're strategies. Bulk buy the cheapest panels available. Rebrand them under a name that sounds harmless. Place them at eye level, right next to the Samsungs and Sonys. So, you think, why pay double when this one's right here? But here's what those savings cost. These panels age like fruit left in the sun. The first few weeks, they're fine, bright enough, color's decent. But by month 6, the brightness starts to drop. Apps freeze more often. And by year 2, vertical lines. Thin, bright, permanent. The TV equivalent of a death sentence. A repair technician once told a forum, Insignia is the brand people buy twice. Once to learn, once to fix the mistake. And the saddest part? Most people don't even realize it's a house brand. They think they're buying a budget TV from a legitimate manufacturer. They're not. They're buying whatever Best Buy's procurement team found that quarter. Different factories, different components, same logo, same short lifespan. Red flag number 3, the middle tier heartbreak. This is where it gets harder, because the basement brands are easy to spot once you know. But the middle tier, this is where trust gets tested. Brands like Toshiba, once a giant, now a gamble. Because Toshiba doesn't make most of their own panels anymore. They license the name. Third-party manufacturers build them. Different factories for different retailers. So 2 people can buy the same model number and get completely different TVs. One lasts 4 years, the other dies in 18 months. Same box, different fates. Vizio is a different kind of heartbreak, because Vizio used to be the hero, the scrappy underdog. Great value without the luxury tax. People loved them. But somewhere around 2023, something shifted. The build quality slipped. SmartCast became unreliable. Firmware updates started breaking more than they fixed. And brands like TCL and Hisense, they just did it better. For less. Now in 2026, Vizio is running on memory. People still buy them because they remember when they were good. But the TV in the box isn't the same one their friend bought in 2019. One user wrote online, "My Vizio updated overnight. When I woke up, everything was worse. I can't even roll it back." That's the problem with software-dependent TVs. The company controls your experience, even after you've paid, even in your own home. Real moment number 2. It's Sunday evening. You're trying to relax. The Toshiba you bought 6 months ago is on. Your daughter is asleep on the couch. Blanket half kicked off. The dog is on the floor. Everything is quiet. You're watching a film, a slow one, dark cinematography, lots of shadows, and you start to see it. Around every streetlight in the frame, there's a halo, a glow that shouldn't be there. You pause, squint, it's still there, blooming. The local dimming isn't precise enough. Whole zones light up when only a corner should. You unpause, try to ignore it, but now you can't unsee it. Every headlight, every candle, every bright object in a dark scene, surrounded by ghosts. A juice box sits on the carpet near the stand. You pick it up and sigh. Red flag, number 4, the Samsung puzzle. Let's talk about a name everyone trusts. Samsung, global, innovative, everywhere. And here's the complicated truth. Samsung makes some of the best televisions in the world. Their flagship QD OLED models are breathtaking. Their top-tier Neo QLEDs are engineering marvels. But that's not what most people buy. Most people land in the mid-range, the $600 to $900 models. And this is where Samsung quietly compromises. Edge-lit backlighting that looks good in stores, but collapses in dark HDR content. Motion smoothing you can't fully turn off, even when the menu says it's disabled. colors tuned to look vibrant under retail lighting, but oversaturated at home. And here's the part that frustrates enthusiasts. Samsung refuses to support Dolby Vision. Every other major brand does. LG, Sony, TCL, Hisense. But Samsung insists on HDR10+, which almost no streaming service prioritizes. It's not about performance, it's about pride, and the buyer pays the cost. Samsung isn't bad, but at the price they ask. There are better choices, brands that do more, with less ego. Red flag, number 5, the OLED promise. Now, let's talk about the most beautiful mistake you can make. OLED, perfect blacks, infinite contrast, colors so rich they feel like memory. It's the best looking TV technology you can own until the day it isn't. Because OLED is organic, and organic means vulnerable, burn in. It's the word no salesperson mentions. The risk buried in the fine print. Here's how it happens. You watch the news every morning. Same channel, same logo in the corner. Bright, static, always there. Or you play the same game for hours. Same HUD elements, same health bar, same minimap, for months. The pixels in those spots, they wear down faster than the rest. And one night, you're watching a movie, a slow, dark scene, and there it is. Faint, but unmistakable. The ghost of that logo, burned into the glass, forever. LG's newer panels have protections, pixel shift, screen refresh cycles, brightness limiters, but they can't eliminate the risk, only delay it. And the warranty? Check the fine print. Image retention caused by static content is not considered a defect. Translation, you're alone. OLED is stunning, but it demands care, discipline. If you vary your content, avoid static images. You might get 8 years, but if you don't, you'll be living with shadows, long before the panel should die. Real moment number 3. Your daughter loves cartoons. Every Saturday morning, same channel, bright colors, that little logo in the corner, always glowing. She's happy, you're making breakfast. The kettle hisses. Everything feels normal. 6 months pass. One night, you're watching a thriller, moody, dark cinematography, and you see it. Top right corner, faint, a ghost, the outline of that cartoon logo burned in. You close your eyes, open them, it's still there, permanent. You sit back, your tea has gone cold, a stuffed bear is wedged under the TV stand. You leave it. You just sit there, quietly calculating how many Saturday mornings it took and whether you should have known. Red flag per 6. Where you buy changes everything. Here's something most people overlook. The same TV can be a smart purchase or a disaster, depending on where you bought it. Best Buy gives you 15 days. 15 days to unbox, mount, test, and decide. That's not enough, because most issues don't appear in week 1, they appear in week 3, after the window closes. Walmart is worse, short return window, and most of their budget stock is designed to survive just barely long enough. Amazon has 30 days, better. But if the TV arrives damaged or develops a problem later, repackaging a 65-inch panel and shipping it back is a nightmare. Costco is different. 90 days to return, plus an automatic 2-year warranty, even on electronics. If your TV fails in month 18, Costco will often take it back. No argument. They absorb the loss because they know trust is worth more than one sale. This is the safest place to buy. Not because the TVs are better, but because the protection is real. Red flag for 7, the software trap. Your TV isn't just hardware, it's software, and software evolves. Sometimes forward, sometimes sideways, sometimes backward. A Vizio owner posted in 2025, "After last night's update, my apps crash constantly. HDR looks washed out. I can't undo it." A Samsung user. The new firmware added ads to my home screen. I can't remove them. This is my TV. I paid for it. An LG user, motion handling changed. Now everything stutters. I didn't ask for this. Here's the pattern. Brands optimize updates for their newest models. Flagship TVs get new features. Mid-range models get maintenance. Older models get forgotten. Or worse, broken. And you can't roll back. Once it updates, you're stuck. So before you click Install Now, pause, check forums, see what other users are saying. Because sometimes, the update you install is the problem you can't fix. The brands that earned trust. Let's shift. Because this isn't only about what to avoid, it's about what actually lasts. 3 brands rise above the rest in 2026. Not because they're flawless, but because they earned it. Through engineering, through consistency, through truth. Sony, the processor king. Sony doesn't make panels, they buy them. Same OLED as LG, same LED as others, but somehow, they look better. Why? The XR cognitive processor. It's not just upscaling, it's understanding. Motion is smooth without looking fake. Colors are accurate without being flat. Skin tones look like skin. Fabric has texture. You can place a Sony next to an LG with the exact same panel, playing the exact same content, and the Sony will look more real, more lifelike, more there. Sony isn't cheap, but when you turn it on, you stop wondering where the money went. LG, the OLED architect, LG didn't just participate in the revolution, they started it. Before LG brought OLED to regular homes, everyone was battling LED's limitations, blooming, gray blacks, uneven brightness. Then LG changed everything. True black, perfect contrast, pixel level control. In 2026, their C-Series and G-Series remain the standard for movies, for gaming, for anyone who wants the picture to disappear into the story. WebOS is clean, simple, no clutter, no confusion, and the newer panels have better heat management, stronger protection against burn-in. LG's budget models are forgettable, but their OLEDs, still unmatched. TCL, the value disruptor. A decade ago, TCL was a punchline, a budget import, an afterthought. Today, they're one of the fastest growing brands in the country. Why? Because they focused on what matters. Performance per dollar. Their 6 series competes with Samsung's mid-range for half the cost. Mini LED backlighting, high brightness, deep contrast, low input lag, and sizes that make no economic sense. 98 inches for less than some brands charge for 75. TCL isn't perfect. Panel uniformity varies. Motion processing isn't flawless. Quality control isn't as tight as Sony. But when you compare price to performance, nothing else comes close. TCL is for people who want results, not badges. Real moment number 4. You finally did it. After months of reading, comparing, second-guessing, you bought the Sony A95L. It wasn't cheap, but you saved. Waited for the right moment. The day it arrives. You feel the weight of the box, the quality of the packaging. You set it up slowly, carefully, plug it in, turn it on. And it's different. Not brighter, not more colorful. Just right. The actors look like people, not mannequins. The motion is smooth, but not unnatural. Colors are rich, but not exaggerated. You sit on the couch. Your coffee is still warm. The dog settles at your feet. A pacifier lies on the floor by the stand. You don't notice, because for the first time in years, you're not looking at the TV, you're looking through it, into the story, the way it was always meant to be. Red flag number 8, the features that don't matter. Let's talk about what you can ignore. 8K sounds futuristic, revolutionary. But here's reality. There's almost no 8K content. Netflix doesn't stream it. Blu-rays don't use it. YouTube barely has it. You're paying for pixels you'll never see. AI upscaling, neural processing, machine learning enhancement sounds cutting edge, but upscaling can't invent detail. It can only guess. And sometimes, the guess makes things worse. Over-sharpened, artificially smooth, faces that look like plastic. Good TVs make native content look stunning. Upscaling is a bonus, not a necessity. 120 Hz of motion rate sounds like a true 120 Hz panel. It's not. It's 60 Hz with tricks, motion smoothing, frame interpolation. If it doesn't say native 120 Hz, it isn't. Red flag, number 9, the panel lottery. Here's something manufacturers don't advertise. Even within the same model, there's variation. LG's C3 OLED. Some units have perfect uniformity, some have banding in near black scenes, some have a slight green or pink tint. You won't know which version you got until you unbox it. Samsung's QLEDs, different suppliers, different regions, different batches. Your TV might be brighter than your neighbor's, or dimmer. Same model, same price, different panel. It's a lottery, and unless you test it during the return window, you're stuck with what you drew. How to make it last. A TV isn't just a purchase, it's a relationship. You'll look at it every day, for years, and how long it lasts isn't just about the brand, it's about how you treat it. Turn off store mode immediately. Lower brightness to 60 or 70, not 100. That alone can double the backlight's lifespan. Avoid static content, news tickers, game HUDs, logos that sit in the same spot for hours. Pixels wear unevenly. Disable motion smoothing unless you truly prefer it. Most people don't. They just don't know it's on. Keep ventilation clear. Heat kills panels faster than age. Don't block vents. Don't mount above a fireplace. On OLED, run the pixel refresh when prompted. Don't skip it. It's maintenance, not optional. Update software only when necessary, not automatically. These small habits can extend your TV's life by years. A well-maintained panel can last a decade. A neglected one dies in 3. Stand in that aisle again, the one with 50 glowing screens, all promising, all new. But now, you see them differently. You see the ones built to last, and the ones built to sell. You see the gaps, the missing details, the vague spec sheets, the too good prices that come with too short warranties. You're not dazzled anymore. You're informed, and that changes everything. Because buying a TV in 2026 isn't about features, it's about trust. It's about knowing which brands will still be working. 2 winters from now, when the hype has faded, when the return window is a distant memory, when it's just you and the screen, and the question you ask in the silence, did I choose well? That question matters. Not because TVs are expensive, but because regret is. The kind that sits in your living room, glowing, reminding you every night that you believe the wrong promise. You don't need the brightest TV, or the thinnest, or the one with the most features. You need the one that disappears. Into the story, into the moment, into the life you're living in front of it. That's not about specs, that's about truth. And in 2026, truth is the rarest feature of all. So before you buy, ask the questions they hope you'll skip. What's the native refresh rate? How many dimming zones? Which HDMI ports are full 2.1? What's the return policy? Can I see this in a realistic mode? Not demo, real. These aren't difficult questions, they're protective ones. In an industry built on information gaps, in a market designed to move boxes, not build trust, smart buyers don't just want a TV that looks good under store lights, they want one that works, quietly, reliably, for years, without regret. Before you leave, tap subscribe, because we don't just review, we reveal. The patterns, the compromises, the quiet truths brands hope you'll never notice. Hit like. Join the thousands who've learned. Smart buying starts with better questions. The kind that protect, the kind that clarify, the kind that separate what glows from what lasts. See you in the next one.